When you have a core or pelvic floor issue, diastasis, recti, prolapse, incontinence, any of those, how you train your core will really matter. If I go to open my door, I don't ask my biceps to suddenly turn on. I don't create a list of exercises or movements to go through to get those actions done. And the same thing goes for your core and pelvic floor. It's called training for a responsive, reflexive, automated core and pelvic floor. So these exercises in this group, this mini sequence, are fantastic for training your core to just respond to the demand at hand rather than needing to hold your core in tight all the time, which we've discussed is really not the way forward. This is this type of training where, again, we're not training for a flat belly. We're not training for performative, right? We are training for function. These exercises are fantastic for that. Stand with your feet a bit wider than your hips. Hands on your hips. Shift your hips off to the right. Keep them there and grab your right wrist with your left hand. Bend your elbows slightly. Imagine there's a huge ball next to your left side body. Inhale. And on exhale, side bend to the left, going over the ball, draping your body up and over the ball. You don't need to go too far to get great core activation here. Be sure that your core is not pushing outward on the exhale. Each exhale, feel your core drawing in. Hold for 5 breaths and switch sides. Stand with your legs wide and your feet turned out, sumo position. Hold a block between your hands, elbows bent. Inhale and exhale, squeeze the block, feel your core engage. Inhale again, and then exhale, squeeze the block, bend your knees and incline your body slightly forward. Reach your arms forward, bend them again and come back up. Repeat. All the time, squeezing the block, feeling your core respond and engage. After 6, hold the bend and stay for 5 breaths, elbows slightly bent. Stand with your legs split. Right leg forward, right knee bent, left leg back, left heel off the floor. Most of your weight is in your right leg. Elbows are slightly bent. Inhale and exhale, squeeze the block and hinge at your hips. Coming forward with your torso, try to kiss your butt to the wall behind you. This will make sure that your right knee isn't pushing forward. Then come up and repeat. Exhaling to squeeze the block and come forward. Imagine you can balance a hot coffee on your back so you don't round your spine like this. After 6, stay and hold for 5 breaths. Left leg barely weighted, spine long, glutes reaching backward, squeezing the block. Switch sides. Lie on your back, straighten your right leg along the floor. Left knee is bent, but at a wider angle. So scooch that left foot halfway to straight. Arch and round your back a few times into and away from the ground. Then keep it totally quiet, neither arched nor rounded. Rest your hands on your lower abs. Inhale and exhale. Your right leg weighs 300 pounds and slowly hover it off the floor without your back arching and rounding like you just did. Very important that your abs are not pushing out into your hands. Your abs should not only pull in, but stay in for the duration of this movement. Be sure not to borrow movement from your back or hips. Last tip, I want you to keep that left leg really light. It's very easy to push into it, so be sure not to do that. Your core will work much more that way. This exercise is much harder than it looks. Raise your leg 6 times and then hold the last one for 4 breaths.